So how are you? I have a very specific message for the Divine Feminine Collective. And the message that's been coming through is that there really only is so much you can do. And the Divine Masculine Collective has to do their part while the Divine Feminine Collective is doing theirs. There's been a really strong energy of emotional energy coming through from the Divine Masculine Collective. And I've been sitting with it for a few days, and I do feel guided to actually bring through messages for the Divine Feminine Collective here on the channel from the Divine Masculine Collective specifically. The energy that's been coming through has been feeling a level of sadness, uncertainty, and this energy of just like not knowing what to do from the masculine collective. And this feels like a very obviously physical world experience versus like the soul level. The higher self levels are getting it, but there seems to be an energetic gap. So this is going to be for the divine feminines, but also equally, I believe, for the divine masculines. If you're here watching, you may find it supportive for you. Okay, wow. Okay, so from the heart space, we have beloved radical acceptance. And what I'm actually sensing out of the gate is actually that as the divine feminines are dropping into a deeper acceptance of the connection, and also a deeper acceptance of themselves in the heart space, it's activating these purification energies also within the masculine side. And the masculines are coming into new levels of acceptance in ways that they didn't know before. What they're showing me is that when the feminines were running, or the feminines sometimes thought that they were chasing, but sometimes they were actually running where they felt rejected from the masculine. But as the feminines have dropped into deeper self acceptance, stopped running, and stopped chasing, what this did was ignite the energies within the masculine to drop into acceptance in ways that they were not able to experience in the past. So when the feminine was running, they were running. When the feminine was chasing, in a sense, they were chasing, whether it was mirrored towards one another or away from one another, all in different scenarios in a way that what's coming through is like this push pull. We know this energy, right? It's kind of interesting because the application on my computer that runs my video actually got upgraded yesterday, and now there's a huge lag in the video. So even as I'm recording this, there's like this energy of me being a little bit ahead of where the video is. So what's coming through is that there's this lag in the physical world that's not necessarily matching up with the levels of acceptance that have been taking space within the heart space of the masculine collective. But the feminines can know this as she drops into deeper levels of personal acceptance, that this is also happening on the masculine side as well. And it just takes a little bit longer to show up in the physical world. But what I'm sensing as I'm saying this is as the feminines stabilize into that internal union and the acceptance of all that is. And I want to be clear on this because it's a process, right? We can have those moments of deep clarity where we accept everything. And then a couple days or a couple weeks might go by, and you might find yourself, divine feminine, in another level of like, what is going on? I thought I accepted this. Why is this coming up again? But then you find again, you drop deeper into that heart space and deeper into levels of self love and self acceptance on this journey. And the more you are mastering that process with knowing that it's not about you being perfect, but just about you being able to temper and stabilize in whatever is coming up, that's where the self mastery is coming in. And each time you stabilize yourself or restabilize yourself into your heart, it's allowing this deeper levels of purification process to happen. And during the Inner Union series, during one of the videos, I cannot remember which one it is right now, I spoke about the masculine collective being ignited internally in the heart space as the feminine reaches those points of inner union, where hers may feel more externally motivated. His transformation is more internally motivated. And the masculines are showing me that this purification process has been ignited in their heart space. And this explains why I keep feeling like the Nine of Swords energy. And it's just like this grieving process, these realizations are coming through. And so now I want to go deeper into what the masculines would like to share with the feminines based on these realizations and the more acceptance that the feminines are having, the more it's allowing the masculines to drop into their truth and to the true acceptance of the connections and of this process is what's coming through. So let's see what they want to say. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see. That jumped out. Okay. So the masculines are in this process of truly getting strong enough to embody who they are. They're stabilizing themselves, and there's this sense of wanting to feel confident and strong. There's a realization that the feminines have stabilized into this. And something about the energy coming off of these two cards right now is showing me a similar strength within their cores. And the feminine, as she's accepting and able to stabilize into all of who she is and through all of her chakras, it's allowing the masculines to also stabilize in new and deeper ways. And these two cards came out together for the masculines, and it really feels like they're in the process of getting their physical world together, but at the same time, also equally learning to temper and balance their energies so that they feel in a space to be able to speak to the feminine within the physical world in a new way. There's definitely something recalibrating. Um, with this sadness I'm feeling, that's not really necessarily coming through with these. So I'm just curious if the masculines want to share anything about that. As I said that, what's coming through immediately without me even pulling cards is the masculines have a sadness around perhaps the feminines not knowing how they actually truly feel. And they're realizing that a big part of this was because they weren't fully accepting how they were feeling internally. But there's a mirror that's coming through that the feminines also were not necessarily fully accepting their feelings either. If we were to look back in retrospect, and maybe it's not even because either party wasn't fully in acceptance on purpose, but we were all only doing the best that we could with what we had and what we knew at the time. So, through this process, as we're dropping into deeper levels of acceptance within accepting ourselves, masculine or feminine, it's allowing each party to drop into acceptance around their true feelings and around the connection energies. Okay, so do the masculines want to share anything else about that? Okay, yes, there is a level of maturing that's happening, but also there is, I know sometimes this card comes through as nostalgia, but it's actually coming through with this kind of life review energy around looking back at past experiences, reflecting and learning and noticing where they are now and actually applying it to the past experiences and now reflecting and learning what they could have done differently in those past experiences, but not in a way to beat themselves up. I hope we're moving through that, right? But actually understanding you can't know what you don't know till you know it. But it's okay now to look back at maybe what you would have done different, what you could have done different with the skills that you have now. So I'm feeling that the masculines are going through this process of self-reflection, and I can feel the discomfort, and I can feel that this is why the sadness is coming up, because they're realizing where they pushed away, where they sabotaged, where things didn't work out, and maybe they projected it onto others in the past. And although, yes, it takes two to tango and to create the scenario, they're now realizing their part of the responsibility, and they're starting to accept their part of the responsibility, as the feminines are doing as well. And what I'm sensing internally within the feminines and within the masculines, that this type of process is happening on the internal level for all parties, is what's coming through. So for the feminines here watching, you may be realizing, like, maybe do a check-in to see, like, what have I been better at accepting about myself or my situation or about my connection or about the world? Where have I been tempering my energies? Where have I been getting my physical world life together in a new and deeper ways? And that is a reflection of what the masculines are doing. I'm also sensing, as the feminines have stopped beating themselves up and they've started to accept that they did the best that they could, this is allowing the masculines to now go into deeper levels of self-reflection, because as the feminine stops taking all of the burden onto her shoulders emotionally, it allows the masculine to then process his part, which is very important, because I think that some of us get caught up in thinking that we have to do all of the processing because we know how to do it in the energetic and intuitive levels. But it's coming through. You can truly only do your part, loves. And the masculines want to acknowledge, like, yes, do your part and let them do theirs. Okay. And as you come into the acceptance of what is yours, and purify the rest, and hold space and compassion to allow the masculines to go through their process without either over projecting or over protecting, allow them to walk through it. Because I think sometimes in the past, there was feminines who were trying to take on everything that they could to protect their masculine from having to go through this process on some levels. And there's this realization that all of us get stronger and build the muscle to sustain the connections and these energies by actually experiencing the process. So it feels like the masculines are acknowledging that as the feminines are maturing into not taking over responsibility, and they are accepting things as they are, it's actually allowing the masculines to go through their process of self-reflection and self-acceptance. Very beautiful. I feel like they do want to bring through one more message. Let's see. Okay, yep. They want me to pull it back from the shaman dream deck to close it out. Okay, we got two. All right. So, fallen angel, spiritual narcolepsy, and the crossing initiation. I feel very deeply that this is the masculines acknowledging where the feminines thought that they were spiritually asleep, and externally it looked like it. The initiation was actually happening internally. And this, oh my gosh, okay, I've never seen this way before. But as the feminines were thinking the masculines were asleep, they were actually in the purification process and holding space, like I said, to allow the feminines to come into their deeper level of self-radical acceptance. And the masculines are acknowledging that, yes, they have been going through their own levels of initiation this entire time, no matter how asleep they may have looked. This is kind of hitting me on a deep level, because I can literally feel it within my own energies. And it makes sense to me as I sit with this, because regardless of how much the feminines have been purifying, we're still finding pockets where we were dissociated or asleep, or where we're coming more and more into embracing our inner union. And it's just signifying the stronger we get and the more that we can handle, the more that is also equally thawing out within the masculine collective. And we've all been working together all along, regardless of how it looks. So if you're finding energies where you're thinking your masculine may be stuck, okay, that is a space to drop deeper into your heart and to find your deeper layers of acceptance of those energies being present within you. This does not mean you're doing anything wrong. It means we're doing this dance of purification, my loves. And the masculines are acknowledging that they are also going through their initiations. They're going through their maturing process, their self-reflection. They're gaining their strength. They're learning how to temper imbalance. And like my video right now, the lag of what we're seeing in the physical world is not matching up with what is actually happening in the energetics just yet. But I am feeling the fact that this message is coming through. It means that those things are coming into a closer physical world manifested energy. Okay. Space and grace for us all. But remember, my dear divine feminines, all we can do is all we can do within our own energies. And we're not meant to take on other people's processes. We can hold space and compassion and grace for their processes, but bringing it back to our own purification and allowing the masculines to strengthen themselves through their initiation as well. And trusting, dropping into deeper levels of trust that we're all doing exactly what we're meant to be doing in each moment, and bringing it back to those parts. It's like everyone is doing their piece of the bigger overall collective puzzle. And the more that we can drop into trust and faith around that, the little bit easier it becomes in allowing this process to unfold. The deeper we can come into these layers of acceptance and stabilize into our own true heart and energy and love. All right, loves. I love you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And again, for any of you who feel guided, I do have that group coming up around the New Earth Entrepreneur Energies as we stabilize deeper and deeper into the new energy foundations and supporting and stabilizing ourselves in the physical world in very balanced, harmonious, and prosperous ways. All right, loves, I'll drop that in the comments. I love you. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.